And now to the British Columbia Creative Achievement Award of Distinction. In British Columbia, we have exceptional applied artists and designers who over many years have distinguished themselves as leaders in their field. Accomplished artisans and designers who have national and international reputations. Successful, creative entrepreneurs who have combined their talent and skills with passion and determination. These talented British Columbians have carved out a niche for themselves within their field and helped bring recognition to both their work and the province. Their names are synonymous with distinction, innovation, and creativity. It is a tradition to present to our distinction recipients a certificate that is quintessentially British Columbian. Each component is produced by British Columbia artists. Tonight is a special evening as we honor an educator, a curator, a designer, and the 2017 Award of Distinction recipient, Sam Carter. And to introduce and share his thoughts about Sam Carter, it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Yosef Wosk to the podium. In British Columbia, we are blessed to have generous philanthropists who care passionately about the province and its people. Dr. Wosk is that individual. His vision and philanthropy continues to build the cultural conversation and the economy of our province. Dr. Wosk.
The generic description of the Award of Distinction reads, "The award recipient is an accomplished applied artist, designer, or design team with a comprehensive body of work, an established career, and an international reputation. This individual is a talented British Columbian who has carved out a niche for themselves within their field and has helped bring recognition to both their work and the province. Their name is synonymous with distinction, innovation, and creativity." And Sam Carter certainly has lived up to this description. My first encounter with Sam was in the halls of Emily Carr. You remember the old Emily Carr on that faraway island? And I remember walking through there, and I was introduced to Sam. I think you were still teaching full-time, or maybe had just retired. I can't remember. And usually when you meet someone, for most of us, you walk away, you have an impression, their name fades before you take a few steps, and I never forgot my first encounter with Sam Carter. There was just a certain kindness and openness, a generosity of spirit and enthusiasm that I just fell in love with both the man and your vision. I remembered your name, I remembered who you were, and years later, when I became more involved in the community and with the BC Creative Achievement Foundation, I was so pleased both with your continued work and contributions to the community as a professor emeritus and a mentor to thousands of individuals, that when we decided to name the awards, it had to be Sam and Yosef together, the Carter Wosk. There are a lot of stories and anecdotes, and if we sat around in a circle, I'm sure we'd be here till dawn sharing the many stories that each of us have about Sam. I'll just share a few. A few years ago, it was the 10th anniversary of this award. And Sam had the idea, always thinking of how he can curate life. And that was, how do you curate, remember 10 years of this award? The winners, the laureates, their designs. And not just here, but in the mother country, in London, England. And so Sam worked assiduously for a number of years, programming it, and we finally got it together, and a group of us went over, plus many people from London. It was at Canada, I forget the exact name, Canada House, right in the is it Grosvenor Square? Trafalgar Square, right? And of course, Gordon Campbell, Gordon, who actually started these awards when he was premier, was not there. He was off in Europe representing Canada, but he had fixed up beautifully the building and the site. And Sam had all the materials shipped over, got the best price, the best transportation, arrived early and set everything up, and we had conferences, people talking about what they were celebrating, British Columbia art, applied art and design in London, and that would not have happened without Sam's vision and work. And then I took my daughter Rachel with me, and we had the most wonderful time before and after the exhibit. Sam showing us around to the London museums, the Victoria and Albert, and what was the other? The House Museum, the Sloane. And to have Sam as your personal curator at these great museums is a rare gift. Meeting your cousins from the U.S. and just at the Caledonian Club, and just incredible. If you can ever not just be a student or a friend of Sam, but travel with him and let him curate your trip. Maybe that's something the foundation could put together. Now, you spent time with Buckminster Fuller. Many meetings, many years of meetings here in Vancouver and in other places in the world. Of course, one of the great geniuses as an engineer, an architect, a scientist, a poet, a philosopher, one of the great thinkers of the 20th century, Buckminster Fuller. And there were few people who really, really understood him and appreciated him. And Sam is one of them. That's a privilege that he then transfers to the rest of us. Of course, being born in the USA and moving here as a teacher and working in the arts as an artist himself, developing a personal collection, his worldwide travels. Sam, your enthusiasm, your vision, your encouragement to others. These are all, I use the word anecdotes, but they're soulful encounters with a wonderful individual. Now I'll read some accomplishments. Emeritus Professor at Emily Carr University of Art and Design. And this, to me, Sam, is your most important contribution, your tens of thousands of students, both while being a professor and your mentoring in the general community to us. There are teachers, there are people who know how to write books, there are people who give essays or show you how to put this in that place, but there are very few teachers who are real mentors, who really connect. I remember a teacher of mine, one of the students complained, was always asking, is this going to be on the test? Do we have to really know this? Is this is in the book, but you're not teaching what's in the book, you're going off. And he turned to them and he said, I don't teach books, I teach people. And that's what Sam does. You know the art because you're learning with the master, but you are also, it's the art of life that you also learn and absorb from him. Sam combines art and science, culture and creativity to educate, entertain, and to develop humane and beautiful cities. His academic and professional background is interdisciplinary, combining education, art, science, culture, as well as landscape architecture, public art, and design. His earliest work began as senior designer for the Hall of Life at the Ontario Science Centre in Toronto. Hands-on, interactive, that we take for granted now, that was pioneered at the Science Centre. The exhibition design pioneered by the Science Centre team resulted in exhibition design projects in many parts of the world because other people heard what's going on there. They came, they saw, and it was exported. This significant professional experience resulted in exhibition designs and research commissions for museums, interpretive centers, special events, public art, city planning, and innovative educational projects. Sam once commented that my exhibition design projects and now the incredible capabilities of online projects allow me to access all the things I love about museums and international travel. Technology has allowed me to work continually from Vancouver on projects around the world. The most recent being the Africa Child Policy Forum in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, the Asia Pacific Applied Arts Forum, and facilitating internships for Emily Carr students in China, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines, Brazil, Japan, Korea, and other parts of the world. Over the past 2 decades, Sam has focused much of his work on Asia and Pacific regions. As the creative director, he designed exhibitions, special events, and interpretive centers, including, and the list is too long to read, I'll just mention a few. The United Nations Conference, the World Wildlife Event in Stockholm, Commonwealth Heads of Governing Meeting, World Garden Exhibition at the UN Habitat in Vancouver, the Vancouver Papal Visit, Asia Development Bank Exhibition, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. I'll skip a few. Dolls of Japan Exhibition, Canada-China Design Applied Art Exhibition, Korean Traditional Art and Craft, All About Blue Exhibition, exhibit for the Commonwealth Games in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, an exhibit for the Vancouver 2010 Olympics, Asia Pacific Folk Mask Exhibition for the National Museum of Malaysia, and Malaysia Canada Indigenous Communities Applied Arts Exhibition, and it goes on. Sam has traveled to most parts of the world and was a visiting professor in Malaysia, China, USA, Russia, Vietnam. Most of us have never even visited these places, let alone served the art community, the culture, being able to speak from where you're coming and what you're bringing to them as an emeritus professor. Korea, Mexico, Chile, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and across Canada. He travels as visiting professor emeritus, presenter, and creative director or consultant to numerous universities, conferences, and to nonprofit and government organizations and private sector industries, while he continues teaching online. Central to Sam Carter's teaching is history, theory, and application of drawing, color, 2- and 3-dimensional forms, visual communication, innovation, creative industries, Asia and Pacific and global cultures. But above all, Sam Carter is a soulful friend who takes delight in the whole person as an expression of the highest form of art. It is our honor and privilege to celebrate together this evening the British Columbia Achievement Foundation's Award of Distinction to Master Artist and Friend, Professor Emeritus Sam Carter.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Carter.
Well, I started writing a little bit of a synopsis that I thought would be appropriate for tonight's meeting. Everyone has been thanked. We appreciate so much the work of so many people that contribute to the Canadian image and the provincial government support that has brought us together tonight. I always feel better if I just start talking. I'm gonna get. But the funniest thing that happens, usually when I have to write something for an event or even a course description or whatever, I always send it to two of my best friends who are really good writers, and they're very thoughtful, and they outline it in red, and they say, well, you might consider this, and they don't want to intrude on my creativity, etc. And one is much more technical, and the other one is more historic and really is a fact checker. And then there's my partner, Peter. Well, I get these very kind of interesting analysis of what I should be presenting and talking about. And it's really quite amazing because most everything that were in these letters, these notes that I had created, were presented tonight by Yosef and the laureates and everybody that is here telling you about what BC Creative Achievement Awards are all about, with the exception of my partners, Peter. And so Peter just looks at this and he goes over it and he just says, so just do the top paragraph and the bottom paragraph. Everybody else will just say everything else. And he turned out being right. Well, I always went one step further. He said, for God's sake, don't spend too much time talking and going on about that, but don't forget the thank yous that have gone out to everybody. So I'm taking Peter's advice, and I'm not saying a whole lot. And that video, Fred Casey, what's Fred's last name? Kazi, who is this genius filmmaker, and he followed me around at the opening of Emily Carr and sort of just created, I think, such a wonderful tribute to not only me, but just to everybody in the city, and how we are so fortunate to have such creative people in our surroundings and in our company. Anyway, God bless you all. Thank you so much for this.